Do you think you need a computer science degree or you need to be a math genius to be successful as a software engineer? Think again. Today, I'll be besting my top 5 myths that hold beginner software engineers back. Let's find out. Hi, I'm Emmanuel, an experienced software engineer. Over the past 3 years, I've worked remotely while living in Ghana with a Silicon Valley-based tech startup. Now I'm passionate about sharing everything I've learned over the journey, and hopefully you can pick some things and can also become successful in your career. Today, we'll be discussing some common myths and misconceptions that may be holding beginner software engineers back. Myth number 1, you need a computer science degree to get hired.
Nope.
Does this mean that a computer science degree is completely useless? No, not at all. It is definitely an advantage. If you have 2 candidates, one with a computer science degree, well, the school also depends. The university that you acquire the degree depends. It affects the value that is placed on the degree. But assuming it's from a reputable university, 2 candidates, one with a degree from a reputable university, another with no degree at all, the advantage comes in when they both apply for a job. Recruiters are more likely to interview the candidate with the degree. So once you have a degree, you are more likely to get interviews. Now, if you do not have a degree, how can you get over this hump? You need to build projects, and you need to build projects that are outstanding, projects that stand out and differentiate you from all of the other applicants. Once you can do this, you would also be giving a chance. Well, hopefully you will be given a chance. Definitely somebody will give you a chance. If nobody will give you a chance, somebody will give you a chance. You definitely be given an opportunity to interview. And from this point, once you get to the interview, it does not matter your degree, it does not matter your grade in school, it doesn't matter, nothing else matters. The only thing that matters from this point forward is your performance in the interview. Even if you were referred, once you get to this point of landing the interview, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters except except your actual performance during the interview. So to recap, you do not need a software engineering degree or computer science degree to be hired or to be a successful software engineer. Having a degree helps, but not required. And then once you get an interview, the only thing that matters is your actual performance during the interview. Myth number 2, coding is the only skill you need.
Nope.
Coding is not the only skill you need to be a successful software engineer, because you work with humans. At least for now, you're not working with robots. So you need to have good communication skills to be able to interact with both software engineers, designers on the team, and then also if you are going to be talking with customers as well, you need to be able to communicate well with them, right? If you're working in a software team, it's a whole team. So you need to be able to have good communication skills to explain what you're doing. If you have any blockers, say there's something that is causing your work to be stagnant or something like that, you need to be able to explain it to them in a way that they will understand. All right. The second thing is that there's a saying that goes that any fool can write code that a computer can understand, but only a good programmer can write code that humans can understand. All right. So even in writing code, you need to have really, really good communication skills. Now, here's a tip for you. If you want to improve on your communication skills, anytime you write some code or anything like that, try explaining it to someone else who doesn't know what you're doing. If you can explain what you're trying to do to someone else who doesn't know what you're doing, you're on the right path. And many times you'd get ideas on how to solve it, and you'd have a better understanding yourself on what's going on. So that's a bonus tip for you. Myth number 3, remote jobs are impossible for beginners.
Nope.
Remote jobs are extremely difficult to get. Whether you're a beginner or you're an experienced software engineer, it's not an easy task, but it's not impossible. I work remotely, okay, and I've been doing so for 3 years. And aside working with my current company, I've obviously spoken with other companies that have expressed interest in working with me and stuff like that. From time to time, I've just applied to different companies just, for fun, to see kind of what the market is. So I know for sure that remote work is not impossible, but it's challenging. Why is it challenging? Because number 1, there are so many companies that would rather have engineers come to the office in person, okay, because this has several advantages in terms of being able to work together, brainstorm, come up with ideas and stuff like that. It's extremely important to be able to have a team that you can meet regularly with in person. So most companies tend to go this way. The other thing is, sometimes, even if they want to hire people remotely, they only want to hire them remotely within a specific location. So for example, you see jobs that have remote in New York City only, or remote in US only, or Latin America only, stuff like that. It makes it more challenging for someone who is a beginner, and then also let's say from Ghana, from Nigeria, from India or something, to be able to land that kind of job because there are so many restrictions. Now, here's the silver lining, okay? Not all companies have this policy. An example of companies that do not have this policy are startups. Tech startups are extremely generous in terms of the kind of people that they hire. Several reasons. Number one, they are usually more cash constrained. Okay, so they are more willing to hire international engineers, because the truth is international engineers will cost them less money than hiring somebody from, let's say, San Francisco would. All right, and that's just how the market is. Regardless of their skill set, somebody in San Francisco will definitely make more money, all things being equal. So that's one reason. That's one thing. So startups generally are more generous. So if you are looking into getting a job and you are a beginner, look at platforms that have lots and lots of startups and apply to them directly. That's one way to combat it. Another way to kind of get through this hump is by building outstanding projects. If you can build outstanding projects, share it on your LinkedIn. If you do not have a LinkedIn account and you're watching this, finish watching and go and create a LinkedIn account. Okay, it's extremely important. You need to have a LinkedIn account. Aside that, once you are able to build outstanding projects, share it, create a YouTube video about it, or post it online, post it on Twitter or X or whatever, post it somewhere on social media so that other people can see it. Potential employers are usually looking out for talented people all over the world, and they are more than willing to give you an opportunity once you can demonstrate that you have the required skills. All right, so remote work is not impossible for beginners. It is just very challenging, but you can do it if you work hard at it, building projects, applying to more startups, and sharing the projects that you work on publicly. Myth number 4: you need to know everything before applying.
Nope.
You do not need to know everything before applying. And in fact, what is everything? How will you know? Do you know what everything entails? No. So obviously, you don't need to know everything before applying, but you do need to know enough. What is enough? Here's how you can quantify it, or at least try to quantify it. Say you want to be a front-end software engineer. There are 3 fundamental skills you need to have. Number 1, HTML. Number 2, CSS. Number 3, JavaScript. If you do not know any of these or are not comfortable enough working with any of these, obviously you're not ready. You need to be comfortable enough working with any of these. The question now becomes, how do you know that you are comfortable enough? Here's how you know. If you're able to build a real world project with any of these tools, and while you're building the project you do not feel completely lost, then you're obviously ready enough. If you kind of have a sense for what you're doing, if you're building a project with JavaScript, you're able to write the functions, like it just comes naturally to you, you're able to loop through arrays, you're able to do all of those things, then you are more ready than not. All right, if in CSS you're able to style your page accurately and everything like that, then you're good to go. Okay, so if you can build a real world project with it, then you're ready. Now you need to have skills that are more likely to be used in the real world. Okay, in any company that you work in, they are not building projects with vanilla JavaScript, which is just normal JavaScript. They are most likely using some kind of front-end framework. Now these frameworks include React, Vue, Svelte, all kinds of JavaScript. Has so many front-end frameworks. What you need to do is pick one framework, get conversant and comfortable with it, and then build projects with it. If you can do this, at least in the sense of a front-end engineer, you are ready to apply for jobs. If you can't, you need to work on these. So once you're able to do this, you're ready. Go out there and apply. So you don't need to know everything before applying, but you need to know enough. And I've used the analogy of a front-end software engineer as an example. Myth number 5: software engineering is only for math geniuses.
Nope.
Why do people think this way? There are lots of similarities between software engineering and math, advanced math. What is the similarity? The similarity is problem solving. If somebody is a really, really good mathematician, they are more than likely to become very good software engineers as well, simply because they have exercised their problem solving muscle or ability. However, if you do not know any math, or if you haven't been good at math, it does not mean you can't be a good problem solver as well. Math is largely very theoretical, but software engineering is extremely practical. You can be a very good software engineer once you have very good problem solving skills. And problem solving skill is not something that you were just born with, all right? You need to learn how to solve problems. Generally, if you can hone your problem solving skills, you would excel at software engineering. What's a practical step for you to take? If you are already kind of getting into software engineering, you can practice more on data structures and algorithm questions, and they will help you with your problem solving skills. So in conclusion, do not let these myths hold you back. They are myths for a reason. They are not real. Start, learn, build your skills, build projects, share your projects with others, share it on LinkedIn, share it everywhere. Continue learning again and again and again. And then apply for the job. If they say no, sure, apply somewhere else. All right, just keep applying. As you keep applying, improve on your application as well. But you get the idea. Keep applying. Apply. All right. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you.